Excuse me, but that was a good test to see if the microphone's working. So many people sneaking in today, my goodness. Welcome everybody. Got quite the crowd. Oh, goodness gravy. And of course I don't have my water. 1 second. Time, let the records show. Even if you can't see my face, I am present. Are you? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official ROCKFISH Games stream. I am your host, Eric Schrader, the community ambassador for ROCKFISH Games and everything related to EVERSPACE 2, and frankly speaking, also EVERSPACE 1. But we've mostly been focusing on EVERSPACE 2 because, you know, it's in development. So, welcome. Welcome to everybody swinging on in here. Whew, I'm a little out of breath. Oh my gosh, whew. But yeah, I had to hightail it. I fill up my water, it's completely empty. That would have been a problem. But yeah, how are all of you fine gentlemen and ladies doing today? Oh my goodness, how are you? It's been a delightful little week here at ROCKFISH. Let me tell you what, we have had a number of people come back from vacation. We've had a lot of stuff behind the scenes going on for stuff that we can't quite show you yet because it's heavily in development, but we are pretty happy with how things are coming together. There are also a number of things that we are bringing forth that will probably, I might poke out a little bit here and there if the right questions are asked. Ooh, there we go. But otherwise, yeah, it's been really good. It's been really good. Today, the focal point is unknown signals, also distress calls, but it sounds way cooler when you're like, ooh, new unknown signals. So, but regardless, that stuff that you find when you're in Superlight and you see little signals pop up, those are what we're talking about today. Andy has been working on a slew of new ones, and this is just a taste. We still have a lot more to come. Because we just want to add a little bit more variety to the game space, aside from, you know, these very persistent locations, these handcrafted places that you're going to, that you're frequenting. We wanted to, you know, create a little bit more variety just in like locations that you can casually run into and have those challenges as well. Now this is kind of like a it's not really, there's not any foreshadowing here going on. Like, this is just kind of a process to where we want to add more variety into the game space, especially when you're in an in-game state. But, you know, we'll have more information on what that looks like this coming fall and not update accordingly. But yeah. I wonder when it's going to be Everspace 3 focused. My guess, Madbad, is when we're done with Everspace 2. It's a hunch. Call it a hunch. I would be incredibly surprised if some of my coworkers were secretly working on Everspace 3 right now, even though we're not done with Everspace. Like, that would, I would slap them. I would slap them. I say that, and you know, part of the process of development is normally getting an idea, some semblance of an idea for what you're going to do in the future before you're done with where you're currently at. But I digress. Did he just hint that there's going to be an Everspace 3? No. But I would be lying if I said the team hasn't internally been thinking about what that would potentially look like. I mean, come on. We've all been there. You've been working on a project. You're like, man, it'd be really cool if, and then you start going into future thoughts. Like, that's part of the process. That's part of the process. But we got a game to finish. We're making a first core game of Everspace 2, which is launching in 2023. The first half, even Michael said the first quarter. I'm hesitant on fully saying that. I love you, Michael. You know, I do. And I'm a gamer through and through, as well as, you know, obviously developer, but like, stuff happens, things can change, but you know, we are shooting for that Q1. Michael's saying it's gonna happen. So be looking out for that. Then after that, we will have DLC, okay? This is guaranteed. There will be DLC, some of which will be in the form of freebies. We'll just drop it on you. If you own the game, boom, more content. That's always fun. And also in the form of purchasable DLC. So that's kind of the roadmap of just like what's to come for Everspace 2. And then after that, who knows? Everspace 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everspace Infinite. Everspace Beyond. Everspace Space Ever. You know, whatever. It's fantastic. So there you go. It'll be May 16th. This is wait, what are we talking about? I just dove into a random conversation. I have no idea. May 26th. What are we even talking about? Regardless, that's kind of the roadmap of what things look like. So I have this build that I was playing earlier. And this is kind of like carried over from our last stream build. It's this striker that we dove into. And I need to modify it just a little bit. I'm gonna change one thing because we did make an update to the fusion hook. I don't think it's live in this build, but I can at least talk about it because it's a little bit of feedback you guys have provided, and we think that it's a good idea. So whenever you're using kunai, which is a very popular one since it stands out, right? Since it stands out so well, we made some adjustments on this to where when you are grabbing a enemy, it puts them in a better position for you to follow up on. In your guys' current build, when you use kunai, they can be flung right past you, which is hilarious and fun in some regards, but also kind of frustrating if you're trying a combat sequence and trying to, like, you know, bring that all together. So yeah. So just be advised that that is being tweaked. And again, I don't actually know if it was done in this build or not. Legitimately did not get clarification, so let's just try it really quick. If they fling by, okay, yep, so it's not in this build. But that is something that's getting adjusted for the future. Just point of ease. Otherwise, we are going to champion this location a little bit, and then we're going to start diving into those unknown signals as I've been preaching. I've also found one of my new favorite combos, which is just using this Gatling weapon paired with the all-day mod of the front shield generator. So let me tell you what, when you line up your shots, you can do it all day. That's the short answer. It's so good. Like, if for any of you don't know what that mod is, because you know it's a new one, anytime my shield gets hit, not only is it blocking the shots, but it's also giving me energy. So quite literally able to keep firing this thing at maximum capacity I'm still going. I'm still going. Still going. Isn't that awesome? What a great little combo. So, like, so easy to put together. So, yeah. Anyway, there's a boss here. Where we're at, we are in Drake. We're in the Outer Rim right now. So I figured this was a really nice spot because when we're done here, we start flying around, we can run into some nice, juicy, healthy, unknown signals. We might even go to Union and Cedo and Zarkov to find some unknown signals too, because they might have some stuff specific for their locations as well. Yeah. There you go. Also keep in mind that Geek Bytes, he is another one of our community managers. He is cataloging any questions that you guys might have for the stream. So I'm kind of like looking over the chats right now, and I'm not really seeing any particular questions. I see some conversations happening like about like story spoilers and stuff, which I totally get. It's totally fair. But yeah, if you have questions about the game, you know, about development, you know, stuff like that, feel free to ask. If they are like super blatantly obvious ones, I'm sure the community will answer them, or Geekbike will give you the heads up. But if they're like really super detailed and you're curious about like a mechanic or something like that, happy to answer. If your question is, when specifically is the fall update gonna be released, like by the freaking minute, you know, I'm not giving details like that out. But yeah, just be kind of mindful about what you ask. Actually, shoot, nah, don't be mindful. Just ask whatever. If it's dumb enough, the community will make sure you know. That's how that works, right? Oh my gosh. You know, I made a little tongue cheek there, but seriously, the only such thing as a bad question is one that goes unasked. That's what a bad question is. So if you're curious, if you have a question, lay it on us. Yeah, see how he zips around like this? This is one of the things that we will be addressing with the Kunai Fusion Hook Edition. I need more energy, shoot me! Shoot me! Yeah! Yeah, alright. Let's get rid of that shield. Oh, yeah. Get rid of all your buddies. Oh my gosh. This guy just got freaking destroyed. Delicious. Oh man, Alec is taking a lot of damage. Maybe I should help him. Everyone always talks about how annoying Alec is when he jumps in. Have you ever thought to help him though? Huh? You ever thought to make sure that he was doing okay? Alec has feelings too, and a lot of children. Isn't that right, Alec? Isn't that right? Look at his sick new ship. It's kind of like an aeroplane. I don't know why I said it like that. I just felt like to be incredibly classical. Pretty cool. All right, so let's go find some random stuff. And oh, you know what? I'm gonna do two things, because right now on my missions, no, my challenges, I have Outlaw Hunt. I started trying to do these before the stream started, and then I just kind of gave up. If they happen, they'll happen naturally. It'll be beautiful.
Good thing that I was around. See you, Adam.
Yeah, take care, Alec. Cool. Oh, I see some questions being generated in. Good, good. All right. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, good, I can. Do Zerillia Retaliators specialize in different kinds of damage, like Zerillia have more armor and do more shield damage? Or why isn't this looping around? I thought I fixed that interaction. No, it's, oh, because it's not doing the... All right, hang on a second. Hang on a second, everybody. Apparently, I done a goof. 1 second. Fit to data, that's what I wanted. Fit to data. Everyone's like, what is he doing? Well, we have this little document that catalogs your questions, and in order for me to see your questions fully, I need to be able to have the data show up. So, first question we have from Twitch, from Medbed: do Zerillia Retaliators specialize in different kinds of damage, like Zerillia have more armor and do more shield damage, or something similar to that? So, I mean, the big thing between Zerillia and Retaliators is that the damage types they offer have special effects, right? Clearly, the Zerillia are fire-based. The Retaliators clearly ice-based. But in general, the difference also happens to be like certain ships are like more profound with their damage output than others. So Zerillia as a whole, they kind of just do more damage. Like they're about stacking damage with the fire, but their defenses are a little lackluster in comparison to the Retaliators, who are far more about disabling you, hence the buildup of ice, right? And they have a bit more armor as a whole, I believe. So yeah, that's gonna be like the biggest difference between the two of them on that front. More variations may come into play in the future, you know. But yeah. Slorine Tetson from YouTube: there was some talk about a character model in the cockpit some time ago. Is that still on the table? It is, in fact, still on the table. So, for anybody who wants to know, what does it mean to be on the table? That means that it's something of a priority, it's just not being worked on. So there is an idea, there's a concept that we would very much like to put a character in the cockpit of the ship. I can't go into photo mode right there, silly me. And yeah, we would like to do that. We would like to do that. If we can get to it, awesome. But it's not the priority for us, okay? So I would not expect it. I think that could go into some poor directions here. I would not expect to have bodies in the cockpits at like full 1.0 release, even afterwards. It's just something that we've talked about internally. It would be a nice to have, but I was never planned to be in the game. And it's something that, you know, we've only talked about internally and say, yeah, I think it would be nice. So yeah, zero guarantee that it will happen, but it's technically on the table. Are any of the promised 1.0 features from the roadmap going to be pushed to the free DLC post-release? I hope not, Brian Brown. You never know what's going to happen through development, which is always frustrating. You know, we have very intense standards here at ROCKFISH, actually, like pertaining to the promises that we speak on. So whenever I'm in these streams and I'm talking on specific topics, there's an intentionality to that. Like, I'm not going to give you guys information that's going to get wildly changed, at least to our knowledge and understanding of where we're at with the tools that we have and the projections that we are foreseeing. That said, stuff does come up. You know, we've had delays here and there. We've had to swap things around. You know, there was a character planned for the summer update that didn't get dropped, right? And that's because it wasn't ready. So we were like, nope, we're not going to do this yet. So we pulled that back out. The beauty of doing that, actually, I should say, like, sometimes when these situations happen, it's not just because, oh, we're not going to reach this deadline. It's because we have these really solid ideas for what this character is going to do. We could either wing it and make it by the deadline, and it's going to be okay. It's going to do what we said it was going to do. Or we could make it actually good. We could make it actually enjoyable. It's functional. It's fun. That's what we want to do whenever we're establishing these things. And sometimes our projected deadlines, you know, they kind of go out the window, and we're like, dang it, because we don't like delays just as much as you guys. We want you guys to be enjoying a fine game. So yeah, for that character in particular, like that character was moved back. They're not being removed. They could be in the fall update. They might not. But alongside that character, I can guarantee that when they do enter into the game space, you're going to have some fun. I can guarantee that. So yeah. Yay, development. Oh my gosh, isn't game dev fun? Isn't game dev so fun? But for the most part, any major ideas, themes, designs, stylizations, gameplay systems, whatever, that we can't reach for any reason whatsoever by 1.0, you absolutely can bet we will put that into the DLC either for free or with a massive amount of additional content to come. But that content that would be pushed to the DLC is not stuff that we promised would happen by the 1.0 release. So anybody, please do not like misinterpret what I'm saying there, okay? If the content that we promised is not done by 1.0, like, wait, I said that weird. If the content we promised isn't done by 1.0, that we said was going to be done by 1.0, it will absolutely come in a free package. But that even being said, I've had discussions with the team, and I don't know if there's anything officially off of the table that we promised that won't make it by 1.0 anyway. So you might not even have to worry about that. So yeah, there you go. Are there plans to add different sets of weapons like Bloodstar Eclipse? Yes. Thank you from Minnie on YouTube. Yeah, we are absolutely adding more sets. You may even be able to find some new ones this fall, as early as this fall. So, said in a previous stream that the difficulty would be dealt with as the last thing before release, but what does the team envision under difficulty? Says Silry from Twitch. I love this question too. Difficulty is, there's so much that comes with difficulty. There's so much that comes with difficulty, but I'm gonna actually pull up a little chat that Michael brought to the team just the other day, actually. Because through a forum post, you guys could all find this actually. On Steam, there was a post that says, "Too hard for me." And a person's basically going through saying it's hard to utilize this, order that, do these things. And they started a little conversation about difficulty. And Michael, like, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. He basically popped up and said, "Hey, do we have plans to do timed puzzles and boss fights differently based on what difficulty that is selected?" These are the questions that we're asking internally. This was from the CEO himself, right? These are the questions that we're asking internally about what we want that difficulty to do to the game space, which is such an important element. Like right now, it's so boring and standard. It's like very easy. Your enemies are weaker. Your weapons do more damage. Very hard. There's more enemies and they do more damage to you. It's boring. It's very rudimentary. And we said that whenever we first dropped it, but we dropped it because you guys wanted some semblance of what that looked like. And it also does help us for balancing purposes for the future of what the difficulty system will look like. But hopefully in this rambling, you can tell what difficulty looks like. To answer your direct question directly, we want it to be customizable to the extent of having more profound interactions in a higher difficulty and having much more simple interactions at a less difficulty. That's not to say we are going to withhold content. So if you're playing on easy mode, you don't get to experience an enemy type or a location. No. You'll be able to see everything regardless of what difficulty you're on. But the level of complexity that there is, like higher difficulty, your enemies are more resilient to EMPs. So instead of it lasting 8 seconds, it's only gonna last 6. You know, just a simple example like that. You could see, yeah. So there's a lot to that. There's a lot to that. Timed puzzles like what Michael brought up, like, you know, you're gonna have a lot more time on easy mode versus on hard mode where it's gonna be like where we envisioned it, you know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully that's much more direct of a response and answers that question a little bit more fruitfully. Yeah. I think a really easy example to know like what we really mean by it is by looking at EVERSPACE 1's difficulties. When you pop open that difficulty and you see the differences between them, you have a very clear and fair understanding of what you're getting into. Normal is how the game's intended to be played. On harder, on easier, it lists out all the different things. I've talked about this topic far too long. You get it. It's not just a matter of numbers go up, numbers go down. There's intricacies, there's subtleties, there's a lot that goes into play based on that difficulty alone. Okay. Okay. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Wonderful cracks. Kazal then asks over on Twitch, this will be my last one, and then we're going to get into whatever's happening here. And we'll go to some new places. Are there any plans to add a fire visual to the burning debuff to pair with the frozen visual effect from the retaliators? I think that as far as the conditions, the conditional effects go, they're not completely done. So I imagine that there will be. I'm gonna ping the appropriate party member and see if I can get more detail on that. I don't know if I'll get a response by the end of the stream or not. But we'll see. I believe that's in the plan. Let me see if I can get a more firm response for you. Okay, so that's that round of questions for now. Let's get into this location, see what's going on. Might just be a normal unknown location, which it looks like it is. Let's just have a quick look around. This looks like I'm playing EVERSPACE 1 right now. Honestly, it just...
Let's start coming to pay me a visit. By the looks of it, yes.
Yep, we're like going to a... Like, we're trying to find the points of interest, trying to collect some stuff. There's like a random minefield. Oh my gosh. I really... That looks like we've been modifying the loot quality, doesn't it? All right. Look at this Blood Star guy. Let's see if we can hit him with this. That's it? Oh man, that got soaked by his armor. All right. Either that or we need new cruise missiles. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. All right, so it looks like this is a pretty basic signal location. This is not one of the new ones that I was hoping we'd run into, so we are gonna bounce. Excuse me. Oh, because my shield was up. Has that really always been the case? Oh my gosh, that's a bug if I've ever seen it. You can't go to super light when your front shield generator's on because there's something in the way. Oh my gosh. That's a hilarious bug. I'm gonna ask the team to keep that in. Oh my goodness, not really. Let me just write that down. That's funny. Gotta love these development streams where random stuff happens just on the fly. Oh my goodness, you guys having tons of questions today. I love this so much. Oh my goodness, you're just pouring in. I love it. All right, cleaning up the questions. Excellent, excellent. Kazal, I see a quick question that you'd asked Geekbyte. I'm just gonna address it right now, just for everybody. The question was, are future experimental branches projected to last 1 week? Yes, they are. Also, Kazaa, I know that, you know, we encourage a fresh restart, and that can be really difficult to start over and then have only 1 week to try and get to like all of the new territories, even though the new content is technically accessible. But you know, having to power through the story can be a little bit tedious. I think that there was a conversation I had a while back about, like, at the start of experimental, giving like a I'll have to follow up and see if there's like a thing that we can do for those. But in short, yeah, in some cases it might even be a good thing to just go with where you're at instead of doing a restart based on various factors. But we do always recommend doing the save wipe though. So we'll just have to see. I wouldn't super light with a big old shield on my nose either. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna read this aloud because I want to make sure that, and let you guys know how I feel about this as well, how the team feels, how Rockfish feels. So a statement was like, big difference between gameplay difficulty and gameplay annoyance difficulty. Completely agreed. So he comments on a game that at a higher difficulty would remove the minimap. So it's not that it's hard, it's just annoying. You know, annoyance subjective here because some people like to have nothing that's holding their hand and they include a map as one of those things. They'd rather get a feel into the lay of the land and memorize it by not having a map conveniently there, because now they are instructed to memorize it because they can't just know magically through a map, right? Some people really like that. So some developers could also see that as not annoying, but just as a greater challenge. However, you are correct in how that actually changes the gameplay experience, because now you're requesting the player to pay attention to something that they didn't have to previously. And that can be very off-putting, and it has to be done very eloquently if you're going to implement something that removes some foundational feature, right? And sometimes that can be very healthy for a game, and sometimes that can be very detrimental to it, even for just like a challenge mode. So yeah, like we do consider those various details, you know. So yeah, in EVERSPACE 2, when we get to the massive difficulty, you go to the map, you can't see anything. Yep, no, you just have to fly around randomly in super light until you run into a location by luck. You have to be at the exact coordinates and then you can go there, and that's the only way. We feel it's really strongly balanced. That would be terrible. But no, the point is that like, it's gonna depend on, there's different factors, but we wanna make sure that they aren't annoying, as you put it. We wanna make sure that they invoke additional thoughts and skill as opposed to additional tedium. Woo! Ouch! We are getting burned, literally.
Is that you? The one and only. Leave some fatties for me.
Oh my goodness! Drone's being cheeky, flying around me. I don't like that. It's like they knew my front shield generator was on. Hopefully that'll take care of the drone behind me. Excellent. A lot of damage from these Zeruleans. Excellent. Yeah, so as we continue to go through these various locations, we may or may not find some new stuff. Sometimes we'll just run into stuff that you guys are already familiar with. But as I find the new stuff, I'll point them out. We do have a couple new ones.
Intercepted.
Excellent. I also see a container over here, so I'm going to grab that. Some credits. Better value by weight.
Bye-bye. See you at the base.
Toodles. All right. Yeah, but going to these unknown signals, it very much feels like, at least to me, it feels like a little slice of Everspace 1, because you don't know what you're going to find. You just have to deal with it. Oh my goodness. So let's keep going on. Hard difficulty mode. We completely inverse all the key buttons. And you can't change them. Don't worry, guys. That's not what we're gonna do. Now, we do also want to see some distress signals, because that's gonna be... Actually, let's look for some distress signals. Let's look for some distress signals. Yeah, there's a reason why, like in Everspace 1, when there's stuff that impedes your ability to do certain things, they are literally called handicaps specific to hardcore mode. Like, I want to put a lot of emphasis on that right now.
Looks like
Okay.
you're in trouble.
Coalition versus Retaliators.
Please
This
help us out.
this is something that you can have happen. It's definitely there. Just a random battle support out in the middle of nowhere. Wow. That Coalition guy got completely screwed. See if we can win this. Now, we also upped the difficulty of the enemies in these particular cases. So it's actually kind of hard to help the Coalition win, especially when you're on very hard. Like, you have to seriously protect them. See if we can win it. Oh man, they're getting overwhelmed. I don't know if we're going to be able to. Oh my gosh, they're getting completely destroyed. Coalition, stay out of fire. Yikes. Oh, that's not good. Those are all gonna pop and Coalition's just gonna lose. Or they're gonna chase me, which is good. Woo! That was good. That was good. We might win this. We might win this. It's gonna be so close. We need a big juicy target. Come on! Oh no, the Coalition just looped. Wow! I think we got the last kill right as Coalition like almost went down. Excellent. That was very close.
Quite a mess. I hope everyone's all right.
Woo! That feels good. That feels good. That's a lot of ships. Yes, it was. All right, more distress calls. We're gonna run into new ones, I promise. They're here, they're present. And if we're not seeing them, if we don't see them after a little bit, I'll just start telling you what some of them are like. But we do have plans to implement more. Like, we have more unknown signals on the way. We've got more distress calls on the way. Just something to add a little bit more, uniqueness to what's going on in the universe, situations that people are caught in, and situations that you get yourself caught in. We want to add to that because it's fun. All right, I'm gonna answer a couple more questions here as we're looking around. Will there be an actual Star Forge as the location, or maybe it will be the only as a manufacture method? Asks Minnie from YouTube. I'm gonna need a little bit more context behind what you believe a Star Forge is. Because it sounds like you're talking about the creation of like specific manufactured goods. And as of right now, the only way to do that is if you craft at random, which internally we don't think feels the best. It's like you can make all of these different things, but you only get the basics. But if you randomly craft something, you have a chance to have like a Bloodstar item be made, for example. Part of us likes it, part of us doesn't like it. It's still getting cleaned up. That system is still being looked at. As a whole, I think that there's probably the most like adjustments coming to primary weapons under this crafting field. It's been a point of conversation we've had even through like discussions and whatnot several times over. But we're getting pretty happy with how secondaries, modules, consumables, and components work through crafting, as well as catalysts, frankly. We're pretty happy with all of these, but primary weapons still feel a little bit off. Modifying is still something that's getting a lot of work done to it as well. Yes, there are Steam achievements planned for 1.0 release. I just saw that, just answering it straight up. Yep, absolutely. Are there plans to introduce AMD FSR 2.1 to the game on launch or perhaps in the fall update? We've received that question a number of times, Fred Sparkvet. And the short answer is we would love to, but we will, much with any sort of like addition of, new settings and graphic options and tweaks and doohickeys and stuff like that, we will make announcements accordingly that says, hey, you guys can now do these things. So yeah, hopefully, my guess is that we will, but it's a guess. It's a guess. I noticed every update brings at least one system fully reworked. Hey!
Let's see what I can do.
Hey, here's a new one. This is a distress call where this guy's like, hey, help me out, I'm damaged. Okay. This is new. So this kind of gives you some semblance of what this could look like for a number of different things, but this basic element is this freelancer freighter's like, man, I'm stuck, I need repairs. Maybe his engines are down, right? And so you specifically have to have one nanobot that is large. We actually have it already, but if you didn't, of course, you could go in here and presumably craft it, probably. I can't, hilariously enough. That's more of a state of the cheated save build that I'm using. Oh my gosh. But regardless, I can transfer it over. We do that.
Thanks a lot.
Nice and simple.
No worries.
That's all he needed. Gives me credits for it. I had a nanobot. He gave me 4,000 credits for it. Neat. So that's also very similar to an event that actually happens in EVERSPACE 1, where you can come across traders that will exchange different things for money or other items. just something that is now added into the game, so you can probably like put it together, like what other opportunities that can kind of generate. But maybe if you're looking for a specific item or credits or whatever, sometimes just sneaking into a distress call might be really good for you. Okay, so now to fully answer this question. I've noticed every update brings at least one system fully reworked. I wonder what systems the team would like to rework in the future. Rework is an interesting word there. We've definitely put in a lot of additional work to all of the systems as more updates come out, but this is something we've communicated from the very beginning. So if you haven't been here from the very beginning, let me go over this very briefly. Hello, I'm Eric Straight. Okay, too far back. Okay, so basically, EVERSPACE is being designed not episodically, okay? Not episodically. That does not mean like, oh, when we did this update, all of Cedo was available, you could do everything, you had all your missions done. Okay, next update, now you get all of Union, you get all the new story, you get all the new content, done. Okay, next update, you get all of Zarkov, etc., etc., etc. That's never been how it's been delivered. Some of you might be thinking, well, Eric, that's what you've been doing in development. I had Cedo to begin with and couldn't go anywhere else. Then you gave us Union, then you gave us Zarkov. Yes, but you're not listening, okay? Now hear me out, okay? There's a very big difference between having access to a new system and having access to an entirely fully feature complete new system with all the bells and whistles, with every single item, with every single faction, with every single side mission, with every single everything. Very big difference. As we have been developing in the game, we have been working on the game, the entirety of it, not just the new content that's added. Not just this new little section, not just that new little story, okay? It's not episodic in that sense. We are making the full game. And when we generate new content for the game, it applies to the whole thing. So yeah, we are still looking at and still refining different areas in Cedo and Union and Zarkov and the Kayet Nebula. In fact, this is something that I've even talked about somewhat recently, where I was talking about how we did a 100% completion run internally, and we're not happy with how some of the secrets are placed. Like, we've just been reevaluating those and saying, does this feel good? Is this fun? And some of them, they just aren't. They're not fun. We're not gonna leave that in and be like, oh, well, it's feature complete, we added all of it. No, we're still working on the whole game. So, wonder what systems the teams would like to rework in the future. I mean, we will continue to rework all of the systems where need be in order to make the game fun. Because at the end of the game, that's what we're making. We're making a game that is meant to be fun. Rewarding, even. All right. Let's answer one more question, and then we'll see if we can find another unknown signal or distress call. And if we can't, or if we can, we'll also go to Union and see if I can find some fun stuff there. Does difficulty affect drop rates and or quality of the loot dropped? No, and I don't think that's something we want to do anyway. So let's take this as an example, Fred Specvat, because I think this question requires a very delicate response. So if we were to change the loot quality, say easy, you have a 5% chance to gain a legendary, and very hard, you had a 10% chance, right? That's content gating by the difficulty, which doesn't feel right from our perspective anyway. What we'd rather have is not affect the loot tables at all. The loot tables stay the same, because inherently you're gonna have greater challenges in very hard against more enemies, against more situations, right? That are going to inherently reward you based on that alone. Very easy, you get into a situation, you're gonna have like 3 enemies tops. Very hard, you're gonna get into a situation with 6 enemies. The exact same situation, but it's literally has more enemies to face, and through that, your odds of finding something technically are better because 3 ships that have a 5% drop chance are less than 6 ships that have a 5% drop chance. Drop chance the same, but because there's more enemies that exist, it just inherently balances that element out. You fight more folks, you get more chances at loot. Okay. Cool. I really like that question though. I want to say that very clearly. I love that question because that's something that grinds my gears. Whenever I'm playing a loot-centric game, it's like, oh yeah, you want the best chance at this? You want to actually be able to get this content? Well, sucks to be you because it's only reserved if you play on super omega lol hard, and your skill level has to be over 9,000 in order to play at that level. So tough to be you. You don't get that content until you get good. No, it's not what we want to do. It's not what we want to do. Not at all. Oh, you're talking about systems as in mechanics. Okay, got it. I wonder what systems the team would like to rework in the future. Yeah, no, there's okay, Medbed, as a follow-up to your question, real quick. Like pertaining to the various systems of the game, I mean, shoot, like you've even seen how this was completely redone, right? Like the idea of what we had before was just a little bit too big, a little too complicated. And this is much more direct, much better about giving you more of like what you're looking at. Yeah, so I mean, there's so many different systems that could easily get tweaked. It almost sounds like it's a little bit of a rhetorical question, like you're just curious, like what's the team going to rework in the future? Yeah, I mean, we're just constantly evaluating the game and what systems feel right and what systems don't. And Reputation did not feel right. And you guys didn't think it felt right either, honestly. Like, we got a lot of feedback from you all about that. So, yeah, it was kind of like, we were kind of on the fence about it. We're seeing, like, comments that you guys are making, and we're like, okay, yeah, we should change this. Oh, hello. Ambush. This looks like a basic signal, so we're gonna bounce and go to another one. Also just casually read, how do you live? I went a week without a PC once. It was the worst week of my life. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. But what I'm gonna say, this is not related to EVERSPACE or ROCKFISH or anything. This is more like personal life experience. Let me tell you what, a healthy disconnect from all the noise that is technology, like just go a weekend without your phone turned on at all and just sit outside and enjoy Mother Nature. It is so freaking refreshing. Oh my gosh. And then when you move back into your work day come Monday morning, you're like a new man. Ah, anyway. Telling you, it's so refreshing. Peter Frog says no. That's like your opinion, man. I'm realizing that I'm talking to a bunch of nerds on computers, man. I'm serious though, like a healthy disconnect really does wonders to the brain. Not joking. But I also get that you guys really, you know, you got your attachments, you got your needs, and some of you temper yourselves really well, and you know, you stay connected and it works.
We need help.
Yes, you do. All right, I think this is gonna be our last one in Drake, and then we're gonna bounce over to Union and see if we can pull some other ones out. If we survive, my goodness. All right, you need to go. Nope, yep, all right. Goodness gravy. Woo!
I'm here to help.
Oh, thanks. Oh, that was a drone? Oh, shoot. Wow, that was silly. Oh, well. Woo! Oh my goodness, so much stuff. Let's clear. Let's swap things around, I think. You know, because this isn't broken, we're gonna use it. Let's see. Even better. I'll take it. Beam laser's getting a change in the future too. Just casually tossing that out there. Nice, nice. Look at all these goods that we've been collecting that I haven't been paying attention to because I've been answering questions. Oh my gosh, what a delight. What a delight. All right, let's get this guy off of them. Actually, this has a chance of dropping his shields, right? Oh, that feels really good. I like that. Okay, cool. Now let's see if I can destroy him before he can get his armor. Yeah, that always feels good. Just completely bypass their armor region. Also, I like shot that missile right across my nose. Jeez. All right, so we're gonna head over to Union now.
See you later.
And hopefully grab some new events over there as well. Cool. Did you get 0 loot from doing that unknown signal battle report? It's very likely that I did, and I will tell you why that it's likely that I did. And when I say did, I mean that I received no loot. And that's because we are incorporating this idea of having jobs spawn up within unknown signals. There it is! We got to the big functional point of the stream today. You can actually just randomly encounter jobs through going to just random unknown signals. That is something that we want to incorporate into the game space. And so far, it's feeling like it works pretty well, but there's some kinks in it. Like, we literally just added this. So, yeah. If I did not receive any rewards, it's because it's broken. All right, so let's head over to Union and find some more places. So you get renown from it. Yes, that is the plan. I'm not sure if it actually is working as intended yet. I know that the functionality of having jobs randomly spawn was only just added, and everything that makes that make sense is still kind of on the, like, on the docket. Still getting plugged in. Man, there's one unknown signal that I really want to happen, and if it doesn't happen, I'll tell you about it, I guess, maybe? Maybe I'll keep it as a surprise. It's really fun. But, all right. You just added it and there are kinks? Pff, I know, right? Early access, it should be 100% done when we add something. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what the team was thinking. How dare we? I completely agree, Serene Tetson. And don't worry, I could definitely tell that was sarcasm. Will there still be jobs on the job board? Yes. Yeah. So if you want to go get some jobs, you can get them at a station, or you can just randomly fly about and hope you get a job. Because again, it's random from an unknown signal, right? You don't know what you're gonna get. It could be somebody that had a job and you randomly show up. Or it could be something completely different. It's not working. Ah, come on. Okay, so clearly you can tell that this looks rather different from a traditional, hey, we need help. There's a lot of GMB here, right? There's a lot of GMB here. I think this one's borked. Oh my gosh, guys, we added all these things. I tested it out. I got one working, but then this one looks like it's broken. So yeah, the outlaw faction didn't jump in. So in short, what this probably looks like, this was something that we were considering, and then you guys also had pointed out it would be really fun. So we were like, yeah, you know what? We'll do this. This is basically a battle support specific to Union. Because GMB operates in Union pretty heavily, right? All their trading, their marketing. And outlaws really like jumping in on them. So you get to see a little bit of what that looks like by going into some unknown locations. And maybe this one's working as intended. I'm not sure, because I felt like they're supposed to be like really big battles. Oh, there's the outlaws over here maybe. But regardless, that kind of shows you what happens when a small group of outlaws show up against GMB, I suppose. But more variety on that, right? Faction battles everywhere, depending on where you're at. I really, really, really hope I can get a good example of that during the course of the stream. We got 1 hour left. We're at 30 minutes more of gameplay, because I want to show. We got so many screenshots from last week, over the course of last week. I feel like I should probably. Hello there, Asteroid. I feel like I should probably highlight the stuff you guys have been doing too.
Credits. Fantasy wealth.
Ooh. I should probably get that Weber drone, huh? Oh, great. I just flew through that.
Alex to the rescue.
Great. Now make yourself useful.
Woo! All right. Eco booster. All right. Unknown signals are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That's right, guys. Exactly. And we just want to do more with them, because, you know, unknown signals have existed for a long time, but they've all been very similar for a long time. And now it's just like, we're getting to a part in the game where it's like, we want there to be more fun factor. We want there to be more opportunity. We want there to be a little bit more variety. So that's what we are poking into. Absolutely. Will there be in the future, probably after the full release, any community events? I mean, timed events to win rewards that are only available for a specific time by doing special missions that are, for example, only available for 4 weeks.
What I can do about this mess you're in.
Hey, here we go. This one's working.
We'd really appreciate it.
This one's working properly. So we got the GMB on the left and we got Outlaws on the right. So in this particular case, the GMB are the good guys. In this particular case, all right. Oh, that was a bad shot. Oh, I should feel really embarrassed about that. Here, how about you hold still? Much better. Hello there. Shoot me! Give me energy! Oh, there's a sniper drone somewhere. Come on! Yay! GMB wins!
We did it.
What a mess. I hope everybody's fine.
All right. So in a case like that, we got 4,000 credits, but also because this is a battle support, the way that I understand it is that battle support jobs won't generate at the job boards anywhere outside of Drake. However, you can randomly come across battle support jobs from unknown signals. So it's kind of like a unique case if you're outside of Drake that you can come across these, because these aren't the jobs that GMB want you to take on. But because they are jobs, when you complete these, you would technically go up in renown. So they're not offered jobs, but they can appear. All right. All right. Just casually look over and I see a message from a while back. It says, I have still done a total of 0 jobs in my entire time playing EVERSPACE 2. You know what? That's fair. I know some people who haven't yet completed the story. I know some people who haven't changed out of their starter Sentinel ship. You know, it takes all kinds. It's fine. It's fine. It's great, actually. Any reason why you are not using Okkar for these Union battles? I never said that we weren't. Hoping to find one. But yeah, it would be specific to Cedo, and I think they can also generate in Zarkov, or not Zarkov, Kait. But yeah, the idea is that you can encounter different combinations of factories. Don't think it's going to be unknown. I think it has to be a distress call, but we'll see what's here. We'll see what's here. This is probably one that's probably a standard one, but let's find out. Yeah, just a standard one. Some noobs trying to stop somebody from getting from one place to another and trying to steal all their stuff. General outlaws, how dare. And then we could explore this. We got a nice points of interest on this site, so maybe we can find some additional loot. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Okay. You know, it's not every day that you find resources that don't generate in a location. that can sometimes be really beneficial. That's much more, that statement, I said that and like, I'm sure some people were like, really? I already have a billion of that resource. That's not important whatsoever. If you restart your save, I think you'll really feel it. I think you'll really feel it. But I digress. Recharge our armor. Yes, please? Yes, please. Awesome. Oh, I stopped firing. Oh my goodness, how dare. That piece of debris came out of nowhere. All right. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Why not use GMB and Cedo and Zarkov and use Okkar and Union? Well, we wanted to add variety, so there's going to be some that can spawn in certain systems and some that can't, and yeah. Okkar, when you first enter into Union, is the first time you see the Okkar in EVERSPACE 2. So we also wanted to put them a little bit more in the hot seat, since their presence is known, right? It's like these protected locations, right? That's where the Okkar reside. And we felt like it makes more sense to start seeing them combat outlaw threats when you're just flying around doing things. Zarkov, the Okkar don't really make too much sense. This isn't really someplace that they protect or defend. This is mostly GMB operations. And also, frankly speaking, there's a lot of outlaw presence here too, but they're very small threats because it's hard to live out here. In regards to Kite Nebula, what I imagine you would probably see, but I have not tested this one, is that you could have like Okkar versus the Redeemers, for example. We could try that. We could see if that's something that's possible. I legitimately have not tested, so I don't even know if that's a possibility. If it's not, Andy, make it happen. Thanks. He'll do it now, 100%. There's zero backlash in me telling a developer what to do. It just happens. I have that power. It's amazing. Michael, I'll take my tea now. Please. Get off your butt. Jeez. Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. All right. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we encounter in Kite Nebula too, just because. Just because, we'll see. It's not one I tested. But why not? We're doing things. We're doing things. Wait, do I have this one available yet? Oh no, I don't. Okay. And next week, Geek Bite, because Eric got fired. Look, we like to have fun. We like to have fun. So if you guys are wondering, Geek Bite said it earlier. If you didn't see it, Michael is not in the stream today because he's actually at the Tokyo Game Show, where we actually have a booth, actually. And he's, you know, delivering EVERSPACE 2 to our Eastern audiences. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
Thanks to spatial bypass technology.
There's also an article that was posted. I'll probably give you a link to it, so you guys can translate it, see what they're talking about all the way over there. I say that, it's like, you know, this is the internet. All the way over there is literally right here, right now. We're all connected. I'm gonna go bully this Inquisitor, and then we'll see about some unknown signals and stuff. Or maybe I'm gonna get bullied. Shoot, what's happening?
Is that you? No, one and only. Leave some baddies for me.
Let's see if I can time this right. Put the shield down. Oh, come on! Yeah! That was a good hit. That feels good. We'll just finish you off. Oh, come on! Oh, man! Oh, for shame.
What are the crystals on the Redeemer ships for exactly?
Exactly. The ships seemingly contain repurposed freelancer technology with unknown ancient modifications.
Did you guys know that if you're doing stuff in the game very similarly to EVERSPACE 1, HIVE randomly pops up and is like, yo, check out this information? Did you also know we're still working on more little quips and statements between Adam and HIVE? Whoop, whoop. These guys are so fast. All right. So now let's go find some. All right, now let's go find some random stuff. Things you shouldn't do at work: telling your CEO to bring you a coffee. I didn't ask for a coffee. I asked for a tea. See, I'm following all the rules of engagement. I just like imagining Michael somehow popping into the stream right now and be like, Eric! It's fine. So Hive Savage mode is still a possibility. Look, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I will say this. So for those of you who didn't know, like, there was a recommendation at some point, and then the community all got behind it, like, oh, that would be hilarious if, like, you're on very hard difficulty. The Hive has more cruel quips against the player. And internally we thought, that's kind of savage. We like it. So that's something that could actually happen, but we want to be gentle if we go that route, because that's locking content behind a difficulty meter, right? And we don't want to do that. I know you're just like, why? It's just a voice line. What do you mean it's locking it's content. It's delivered content. And, you know, we have to ask that hard question of, like, do we want to reserve this content to players that are only playing at this difficulty level or not? Or reverse it. If you're playing on easy mode, Hive is like being more cruel because you're playing on easy. I said it backwards. But regardless, this is something that we are talking about, and it, in fact, has a chance. It has a chance to be realized. So if you guys really want it, you better get in on that action and make your case, say it on the forums. So whenever we search for it, it populates 10,000 times, because the more interactions there are, the more chances it has of coming in. So there you go. There you go. All right, let's answer just a couple more questions here, and then we'll search through here as we're listening to these beats. Are there plans for Ancient Wardens for any signals? Not really. Not really. Not right now. I should say not right now. Because as you know, in EVERSPACE 1, it was not necessarily uncommon to come across Ancients. Because of a signal that you see, you know that there's jump gate nearby, right? So it's potentially possible, presumably, perhaps. But as of right now, there's not really a plan to do that. Any chance of extending the wanted system for other factions? Oh man, the plans for the wanted system is very much similar to the plans that we had for reputation, where we wanted to have all these multi-level shenanigans and stuff like that. But we also wanted it to be simple in that approach, and it's why we changed it from a reputation system to a straight renown system. So regarding the Okkar and the wanted system, that is gonna be changed. I'm straight up telling you, that's one of those systems that Bearded Frog, you know, he was asking, I wonder what other systems we could expect changed. The wanted system. The wanted system will actually be changed. To what degree? Hard to say, but we don't currently like it. We don't currently like it. It's very average, and for us, average is not acceptable. We want it to, like, since we're adding that in as a functioning part of the game, you know, where the Okkar jump in and do these things, like, it needs to be important to the game space why it's there. Because right now, it's not really. It's not. It's not. So it'll change. It's not. It's just not. Like, I say that like begrudgingly because there's a couple team members who think that it's fine where it's at and we don't need to deal with it. And but you know, again, like, and I'm not even like trying to like put down teammates here or anything like that. Like legitimately, we have lots of internal discussions about these things and what we want to establish, and everybody on the team agrees if we're going to build out a system that's effective in the game, it needs to be just that, effective. And right now, unfortunately, wanted system's not really. It's not really. Man, I have so much stuff. I need to go sail. All right. Shabar. Let's find us an unknown signal or a distress call. See if we can find something cool. Wait a second. Did I get a message? Hang on. 1 second, guys. Gonna check a thing. Okay. So it looks like Kayet Nebula doesn't actually have a signal added to it yet. So we will fruitlessly search here, unfortunately. So that's where we don't need to be here. But rest assured, the idea stands that we would like to have these more like battle support things that randomly show up where you just appear and there's a battle going on and you can effectively help out or choose to not help out, you know. So yeah, we can't do anything here. So we are gonna bounce out. I'll go to, well, I guess we could go back to Union and see if we can generate one with Okkar, but we could also just go to Zarkov. And Zarkov's gonna have GMB versus Outlaw. Or random jobs. What was I like this question. This is a great lore question. What was the war called when the Colonials and the Okkar fought? It was called the Okkar-Colonial War. I know, aptly named, right? Is there an official name for it? Yeah, it's literally, like, a lot of individuals in the DMZ just refer to it as the war, and I think somebody else had mentioned that. But yeah, it's literally called the Okkar-Colonial Conflict, the Okkar-Colonial War. I think somebody asked how long the war lasted, and just to give you some sense of that, we do have our timeline cataloged here. It's secret, but it's definitely there. Let me just run the numbers super quick. So the first skirmishes started happening a bit after Colonials showed up in the DMZ, because the DMZs were like spreading out, finding stuff, but they didn't encounter the Okkar. That was back in 2,901 up to 3,000. So that's when, so almost 100 years worth of exploration vessels were arriving in Cluster 34, all right? Lore time, yay! The first arrival of mining interests, so 100 years after exploration was done, in 3022 was when the colonial mining interests started appearing. And the skirmishes started appearing 4 years after the mining interests did. So like all the exploring that was done, all of like the figuring out like what we could do and where we could go, they send out the mining interests and the Okkar are like, what are you doing here? So there were tensions that rose in 3026. I feel like I need like those like tiny little glasses and have them like, okay, story time. And the first major conflict was had between the Okkar and the Colonials in 3028. Now, this is not the start of the Okkar-Colonial conflict, okay? This is when the meeting happens between the Okkar and the Colonials. There was some quick acting diplomacies. Tensions continued to resume. there was a diplomatic mission to the Okkar homeworlds that happened sometime in the mid 3000s, and it failed, which escalates it into a full-blown war. Okay, so colonials go to the Okkar homeworlds and probably don't come back. Like, it fails hard. So then the full-scale war happens in 3039. I'm giving you all the secret deets. In fact, some of this was cataloged by Grindel, because he read in between the lines from our codex, where a lot of this comes from too. Full-blown war comes from 3039. Adam Roslin and Seth Nobu were sent to the front lines a year after that, just so that you all know. And then there was a colonial Okkar armistice that happened in 3042. Okay, so the full-blown Okkar-Colonial conflict was for 3 full years. Now, some of you might be thinking like, oh, well, that's not very long. Like, that's kind of short-lived. Like, some games are like 100-year war, blah, blah. Well, you have to keep in mind, that's incredibly short for what was presumed to be the conflicts, because the losses from the Colonials and the Okkar both were massive. This is actually covered in the lore of EVERSPACE 1. Like, things escalated quickly, stuff got destroyed quickly. Like, it came all tumbling down, which is why the demilitarized zone is littered with so much post-war debris, equipment, bases, all that stuff, right? So 3039 is when the full-scale war officially started and went for 3042. I believe there's information in the codexes to know what year it currently is. I almost need to get confirmation from Grindel. But effectively, it has been, I think I'm allowed to tell you this, it's effectively been about 14 to 15 years since that armistice was called into play, since 3042. So the events of EVERSPACE 1, for example, are happening around 3056. And I think that's about all the more I can tell you without crossing into a line of spoiler territory. So you can also take into consideration from this information, for any of you guys who are like comparing ships from EVERSPACE 1 to EVERSPACE 2 and be like, well, why does the gunship have shields in EVERSPACE 2? And why does the Sentinel not have a lightning gun, or, you know, all these different types of things? Well, it's been 15 years since those colonial ships from EVERSPACE 1 were used. Because keep in mind, even though the events of EVERSPACE 1 were about a year-ish ago from the events of EVERSPACE 2, the cloning program that Adam Roslin kicks into place is on a downed carrier from the wars. So that downed carrier is 15 years old, that has seen no adjustments, improvements, upgrades, modifications, what have you. So you're flying 15-year-old fighters in EVERSPACE 1, okay? So a lot's changed and developed over the course of all these found colonial ships, and how the how the outlaws have adjusted themselves, and upgrades and all that fancy stuff.
Jump
Yeah.
gates? Where we're going, we don't need jump gates.
Thank you, Adam. So there you go. That was a ton of lore. Nice little lore section for you all. I'm sure that will be nicely cataloged for the VOD. Whew. Yeah. There's way more information for, I'm not even sure if that question was officially asked. I just saw it and I'm like, I'm such a lore junkie when it comes to games. Like, they have to feel right to me, and we make sure it's feeling right in EVERSPACE 2. We are making sure that at least that aspect, the lore of it all, does make sense. The 15-year-old fighters still kick ass in EVERSPACE 1, yeah they do, but they also have some problems, which is suitable for a roguelike experience like energy management between the weapons and the engines. That's all the same. You're here and you can manage between your weaponry energy and your engines. Like, that's such a convenient feature, right? That's so much better. It's like, this should have been in technology for the last 15 years, right? Well, it's because it was replaced shortly after the wars. You know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. So yeah, lots of differences. But, oh, that also reminds me, we've been adding descriptions to the I'm gonna go to a ship dealer. I'm kind of jumping around. I was gonna get to an unknown signal. I wanna do this. I wanna see if I can find a ship dealer. We're going to the Flying Duchess. Hopefully they have an interceptor, because we really do pay attention to the lore, and I wanna show you that if there's an interceptor available. I'm getting so excited because of this, all the lore stuff. Oh, it's a distress call though. We're doing this. We're changing plans slightly because community conversation. It's an organic approach. That's what we're doing. Adam remembers 1,100-year-old movies. Yes, he does. Because they've been well documented, cataloged, and put on reruns on the Eterna network. You know it. Also relevance and, real world situations. Oh wait, that's not where we need to go. We need to go over here. Beacon! The Flying Duchess!
And I thought I was all alone out here.
Sorry for disturbing.
No, it's fine. Stay.
Interceptor? Intercept? Oh! Intercept? Ah! I love the looks. I love it. Yes! Interceptor! All right, let's read this description, even though technically you're not supposed to read these. I know I'm blocking it tough. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. It says, the Colonial Fleet's original workhorse, the Interceptor-class fighter maximizes offensive capabilities by redirecting engine reserves to weapons. A feature preserved from older models for steady, uninterrupted fire. Oh my gosh! It's like the lore makes sense. It's like it all comes together and there's an intentionality behind a special called Power Converter where weapons use boost energy after weapon energy is depleted. Oh my goodness gravy crazy. Holy potato wedges. Oh my gosh. Need to dip those in some goodness gravy. Yeah, we like lore. All right, let's see. We're gonna answer like a couple more questions and we're gonna transition to the screenshots. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, if you're creating a game world, right? It's just a super short snippet here. If you're creating a game world, you have to make sure that the factions, the characters, the whatever's in place makes sense, right? They have to make sense. Yeah, there's gonna be gamification. There's gonna be some things that are a little bit wonky or weird, maybe. Sure, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, if it's not believable, that's a problem. And we're very, very happy with the story of EVERSPACE as a whole. Like, it makes a lot of sense to us and how the characters, like how they interact and how they position themselves and kind of what they're doing, what their objectives are. Like, we feel very good about this DMZ that we've created, these different factions, why they exist, and also, frankly speaking, why it's so easy to pick up a bunch of military usable items for your ship. It all ties into that lore. It all goes hand in hand, I'm telling you. Crazy. Crazy, it fits together. Fits together. Okay, so I think we're gonna save here. I am really happy that we got to see that interceptor. There's still more work on this page. I didn't even test this before the stream, so I'm glad this isn't like super crazy different. But there's still more work on this site. I love the way that these warp in though. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. And also these new wings, we saw that, but showing that again. That still hasn't been updated. Just like looking around for more updates. More updates! More updates! Oh my gosh, but I digress. I digress. All right, so we're gonna save here. Stream. Yeah, das ist sehr gut. Love the phase-in effect. Yeah. Somebody mentioned, was it Spoon Knight? It might have been you. I can't remember who it was, but somebody had mentioned like a free space or some other game that does something similar, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's like that. Yeah, definitely inspired by it. It was you, Spoon Knight. Okay, yeah. Yep, 100% inspiration. Yep. Okay. All right, now we're gonna take a quick break. When I come back, we're gonna get to your screenshots. I'll be super fast, I promise, all right? Super fast. In the meantime, feel free to hit us up on Discord, Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, YouTube, all of the different places and things to get notified about what's happening, when it's happening, all of that stuff. Really want to point out that the Discord has been pretty active lately. It's been really nice, it's been fun. You guys have been chatting it up in the right sections. There hasn't been too much weirdness due to some cleaning ups. I will say some of y'all really have your strong opinions in that gaming chat, but you know, that's good. That's good. Just make sure you're not bringing anyone down for their weird opinions. You're just embracing, you're loving, you're, you know, whatever. Even in your disagreements, you can love on people. So yeah, I'll be right back. We're back. Welcome again for that nice little intermission. Just want to share this quick image with you. Michael is over at the Tokyo Game Show right now. Got a little modest setup where we are representing Germany and delivering the goods of EVERSPACE 2 to all of our fans over there. Yeah, he's been saying it's been a good time. He's sleeping right now because of the hours that are, yeah. But he's having a blast, meeting tons of people. Yeah, I guess you could say that we're starting to kind of get back into the groove of conventions when appropriate, where applicable. So maybe there'll be some of that stuff next year. I hope. We'll see. We will see. Otherwise, let's get into some of these questions and also some screenshots that you guys have been doing, because I love it. I love how this all comes together. I love how it all comes together. So, starting things off, we've got a question from Shadowy from Twitch. Any reason you are not using Okkar for the... Oh wait, no, we answered that. We talked about that. Never mind. That one's done. That one's done. Delete. Delete. Delete, delete, delete. And I lost my... Where did my folder go? Oh my gosh. This one comes from... Come on. Perfect. Super well executed perfection. All right. This one comes from Bradley. Bradley has been taking... a decent number of screenshots, but the thing about it is that when he delivers a screenshot, it's fantastic. He has time and time again not like gone crazy with the shots, but just delivered what he felt were really solid shots, and they have been. And as such, a little bit earlier today, I just slapped Galactic Photographer on him as a badge. Like, I love the content he's been posting. You guys have been loving the content he's been posting. So Bradley, welcome to the Galactic Photographer crew. Keep it up. You are delivering very specific, very detail-oriented shots that are just delightful. Just delightful. And we're gonna see, I think, 9 shots from Bradley today. Oh my gosh, 9. Because there was like every single one, it was like, I have to show this. Like, it's ridiculous. So very, very good stuff. This shot comes from Kazaa, and it looks like it's from like an action movie, and I dig it so much. I love that shot. The use of the depth of field and seeing this ship trying to get away. There's like these little drones like, no, I can make it. It's just like, there's a sequence to this. It feels like it's a scene from a movie. Like it really does. And I dig that greatly. So very, very cool. Oh my goodness. So keep up that style of shots, Kazal. You are a galactic photographer, so I don't need to apply it to you. Here's another one from Bradley. This one he's playing around with the silhouettes of ships, and I think that this one deserves some pretty good praise because of the framing of it all, okay? Like, it's not just, oh, here's a spaceship image on the side of an asteroid. Like, he's taken great care in the positioning of, like, even the bordering effects, these little red lines, right? And then we also have the missiles. Did you guys know that the missiles are just like hanging in between a Vindicator? Did you know that? It's crazy. And when he shows this and you see like how the wings are designed, like you get all those intricate little details, that is an impressive capture of what's going on with this vessel. And that's why I chose this one. It's really cleverly taken, and I think it comes together so well. Very nice. I look over and I see conversations about LAN parties. Oh my goodness, the number of LAN parties I've been to, it's insane. The last LAN party I went to, I was actually, it was shortly after college. It would have been like 2010s, 2012s. I went to a LAN party in 2012. Yeah, okay, it was awesome. This is probably wasn't necessary, but it was amazing. Yeah, LAN parties, man, crazy. Bring your own computer setups and everything, and way too much heat in a single room of the house. So good. Speaking of so good, check out HIVE's shot. HIVE sent us so many images. I think I was actually stressed pilfering through them. It's like trying to like select all the screens. Just like, okay, well, now I have to evaluate this one to this one and this one to this one and this one and this one. And like doing this routine of like, I think that over the course of like the last week, there's easily like 60 to 70 shots from HIVE alone. You are a mad lad. I love it because you do have some pretty solid shots in there, and it makes me happy. So this is one of those shots, looking onwards to see what's around the corner. I love those storytelling shots, of course. All the Mountain Dew for LAN parties. Gosh, no, I cannot stand Mountain Dew. Oh gosh, I can't do it. I can't do it. More power to you guys and your impressive stomachs. I can't do that. That's not for me. Are there any plans for other companions jumping in to help with fights? At some point in time there was, but those were secret plans and you don't know that. I also didn't tell you that. So, there you go. Great question from Kilted Ninja. We got another one. Any news movement for additional job types? Yes. Yeah, there are going to be more job types for sure. Yeah. Can't crack into them yet because some of them require. Oh, that's so telling. I can't tell you, but there's more stuff for jobs. I've told you too much. Oh my goodness. Thunderflame snuck into the Discord. I don't know how long they've been in. I tried to get that information prior and I just didn't quite get there. But I dig this shot. I love the explosion. I love the colors that are chosen here, which is so very important. We have an incredibly beautiful contrast between those oranges and blues. You've heard Michael talk about this all the time. You've heard me talk about it. Like you look at the ship and you're like, but Eric, this ship is gray, but it's reflective. So when you're squinting your eyes at this and you're looking at the colors that are popping, you're actually seeing tons of blues and oranges that are mixed, intermingling, if you will, on this entire format. The depth of field makes that ship pop even further. It's just an incredible shot. It really is. It's a very, very well captured shot, taking great care in all the colorations that are happening. You don't really see any other colors other than orange and blue or a variation of them. Like everything's within that color palette range. You don't see a single green. You don't see a single red. I'm gonna say it. You don't see a single green and oh my gosh. But my point is there's a tremendous focus on what's happening here and it makes all of it stand out because of that powerful contrast. Anyway. Moving right along, we've got this shot from C. Dutson. He also slapped down so many shots from his streaming endeavor. If you guys don't watch his streams, I'll give him a little shout out. He does stream the game a lot and he's pretty fun. He's pretty enjoyable. Definitely had a good time taking some photos and he was just like, whoa, when he saw this one. He loves taking shots. And I don't know how many of you have seen this yet. Some of you might be like, where's that at? What in the world? Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that's happening in the game and maybe there's going to be more stuff that is applicable to why it is. Perhaps. Maybe. But yeah, we're gonna go through a couple of the shots that I felt like he did a pretty good job. This one was another one, just nice and clean. I love these environmental shots. You guys know that I'm a sucker for it. This is something that I could have like as a backdrop behind me as I'm doing this news feed, for example. It just it illuminates the most important things. It's just pleasant. It's just solid. Really, really clean, really, really good. And then we also had this one from him, which is showing the illuminated cockpit. Love how the lights are so bright on this ship. I think that there's some additional illumination going on in this scene. I can't quite put my finger on it because I don't think they glow like that. I don't think they glow like that, but it's really freaking cool, and that's why I'm showing it. So very, very cool. Another question from Sloreen Tetson. What's the relationship between the Redeemers and the Ancients? Why are they so obsessed with them? Well, actually, there's a very complicated storyline on that front, which is not done being told. So I'm not sure how much I can crack open on that front, Sloreen. But in short, do keep in mind that the Redeemers showed up into the Kite Nebula, and they weren't called Redeemers, prior. They were probably called something else that's probably been really pushed. If you take a little bit of a care and attention, you know exactly their origin story. But like, they started going basically mad, and then because they went mad, they started pulling others down through all of the ancient technologies and everything, and they even captured a freaking warden, right? So they're not buddy-buddy with ancients. They're not. So I'll leave it at that. The Redeemers and the Ancients, they are not buddy-buddy. The Redeemers, for all intents and purposes, they are a ancient worshipping cult. That's what we'll simplify it to. That's the main thing that you need to know, and they're crazy. The Okkar don't even like them because the Okkar worship the Ancients, right? But they worship them correctly, whereas the Redeemers kind of like don't at all in the slightest. So there you go. That's as far as I can go with that without going across the line. All right, next image. Next image, we got this one from Dark Chaos. Dark Chaos does a great job with these scenic shots, always highlighting different locations and kind of like their aesthetic features. I feel like you could almost go back through Dark Chaos's shots and just make a storyboard based on where you've been by just plugging in these photos that he's taken. It's really cool, actually. I really like how he captures the locations as a whole. And I already forgot what location this is, but I know it's in Drake. There you go. But it's a great little shot. It's a great little shot. So well done to him. Next shot we've got in the line comes from Bradley again. I told you we were gonna have a lot. Speaks for itself. Up in your face, getting ready to blast you, probably. Very, very cool shot. I also think it's kind of interesting how like the depth of field affects everything here, but then like the lines are so crisp. That's probably a bug. We should probably have that looked at. But regardless, it's pretty neat. Kazasa, short answer, solid maybe. Yeah, yeah. It's possibly, maybe, perhaps a chance, I think. But yeah, I love these up-close shots. I love the depth of field. I love the cockpit shots. You guys know that. It's so good. It's so good. And the detail on the drones is a pleasant surprise to see. It's a pleasant surprise to see. Not a lot of people get up close and personal with the drones where you can actually see the level of detail we've put into them. That's a great shot. Delicious water is delicious. All right. Next up, we got HIVE. He's taken another look at an alien that he found. Like, this is the head, right? And here's the body. And he said that the hands were like holding an artifact. Sure, if that's what you're imagining. I guess that it could be interpreted in such a way. But I do like how he's like trying to capture what I think is more appropriate is like, yeah, you know, you have this alien, right? But who's he talking to? Who's this guy? And what's with that face? Huh? That's the real question. Who's this? I need answers. Rockfish? Lore, hit me, come on. Where are my answers? Because that is some questionable character going on. Great, great shot. I love it. We got another one from Bradley. Who'd have thought? Oh my gosh. Look at this sexy photography. Look at it. Oh, I dig it. I dig it so much. It's so clean. It's so good. Ah, I don't even need to describe it. You just look at it and go, that's a nice shot. That's a nice shot. Ah, this is so good. It's so pleasant. It's so pleasant. Let's keep moving on because I got lots of these. Oh my gosh. We got another one from Bradley. He had several interpretations of this one. Is my face in the way? Goodness. I'm not even looking at my face because I got so many friggin' things pulled up. Yeah, my face is totally in the way. Check this one out. See that? See that ship right there? That's a ship. That is a ship that's flying in space close to this site. I just described obvious things to you. And I love the smoke coming out. It almost looks like it's industrial, even though it's probably an explosion. But it really sets this tone. It sets this theme. It sets this story. Really come back to that so much, don't I? I really do, because it's important and it speaks so loudly. So great job once again. Oh my goodness, I dig it. Then we've got this one, which, so spoiler, not really a spoiler. I almost streamed EVERSPACE 1 today because I thought, oh, it'd be a nice change of pace. There's not too much to show right now. Like next week, we're probably gonna have a lot of stuff to show. My goodness, who said that? And like, I was feeling like doing a hardcore one for EVERSPACE 1. So I did off stream and it felt really good. And I was like, man, I'd love to do that on stream. Maybe we'll have to do a little revisit thing when EVERSPACE 2 isn't at the forefront. Like maybe after EVERSPACE 2 is released, we could do like a side-by-side like comparison thing or walk through the story, whatever. But Flory's been playing through it. They've been having a blast. I had a double take on this because I originally thought this was EVERSPACE 2. And then, like, from further inspection, you can tell that that ship is 15 years old, can't you? Just look at it. That's dated. Dated equipment. Still, Flory's got several shots that they'd captured from EVERSPACE 1. So we're going to be covering several of those. You guys, when you're adding to the screenshots channel, it's not under EVERSPACE. It's intentionally under ROCKFISH Games. Like if it's anything related to ROCKFISH Gaming at all, EVERSPACE 1 or 2, post it. We love this stuff so much. It's so good. Or maybe it is under EVERSPACE. It's supposed to be EVERSPACE specific content, but it can be EVERSPACE 1 or 2. Anyway, I digress. So this was a shot that I felt like I needed to include because of the statement that was had pertaining to the shot. Crispy Muffin was like, this might be my new favorite. So I want to let you guys judge. Do you think that this is a really good shot, or do you think it sucks? Do you think this is awful and you should feel ashamed? Nah, it's a really good shot. But I think it's really solid. I love the way that it's just flying out into open space. I don't know why it was so dang savage there. That was whew. But no, it's a solid shot. I love it. It's mid. Oh my gosh. Under EVERSPACE, but the description says 1 and 2. Yeah, so EVERSPACE is like more of the branching franchise. Like it has to be EVERSPACE related. But EVERSPACE 1 and 2 are both EVERSPACE related, so yeah. Very, very good. There is still such a massive conversation going on over in YouTube, and I don't know if I want to intervene or not. You guys keep on rocking it. It's wonderful. It's nothing that really pertains to EVERSPACE 2, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna keep talking about the stuff that's going on over here, like Flory's fine work in EVERSPACE 1. Oh, what a great shot of this random galaxy that looks like it could potentially be the Milky Way, but it wouldn't make sense if it was, or maybe it would, I don't know. But I love it. I love it. I love how close that looks. I love the spaceship. Like, this is a part where we start getting into like the gamification of things. We just thought this looked cool in the background, so it slapped it in. Would this authentically be a visual you could have based on the location of this, which is still technically, like the DMZ is technically still in the Milky Way galaxy? Like, it's too many questions, okay? Too many questions. Let's just leave that. It looks cool, so we put it in the game. And yeah, it's a really nice scene. I think this was one of those scenes that kind of wowed a lot of players because we see this screenshot taken a lot, actually. A lot of people post this and they're just like, they do the eye emoji with the hearts in the eyes, right? A lot of people loved it. So, yeah. Next up, again, Flory. We keep rocking these EVERSPACE 1 screenshots. And for good reason. Like, this is such an exciting space where you know that it's just like so much torment is going on. You've got to make some quick decisions. You got to figure out what's going to be best for you and your ship and the equipment that you have, you know, whatever. Because it's a roguelike, right? And when you enter these like space storms, these lightning storm areas, they can burn your shields away lightning fast. But at the same time, they can also give you energy. So the gunship loves these places since they don't have shields. You're a gunship, you sit in these locations, you get infinite energy, and you're just like, yep, that's me. Look at me take care of everything. It's a benefit to the gunship in this particular site, but no other ships. Somebody's like, wait, it regenerates energy? Yeah, sorry, that is one of the effects in EVERSPACE 1. So yeah, it does give you energy. Flory again with another EVERSPACE 1 shot. Can I just say how good EVERSPACE 1 still looks to this day? I was watching another streamer today revisiting EVERSPACE 1 because they hadn't in a while. And they were just in awe. They were just like, I can't believe this game came out like 5+ years ago. That's crazy to me. Sometimes it's crazy for us to think about too, and yet it still holds up really freaking well. I think it does, at least. I think it does. But of course, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But these screenshots coming through, sometimes I still get them confused between EVERSPACE 1 and 2 because like of the level of detail and polish that resides. Obviously, there are telling signs between the two, but crazy. That's crazy. All right. Next up, we've got a shot from Crispy Muffin. This one I particularly liked because that narrative tone that it's setting, you know, a derelict spaceship that you're pilfering through, finding if there's anything of value, maybe even you're trying to find survivors. I don't know. And I just love the way that comes together. It's great composition with the highlights from the light source and the darkness that you get just from the naturally cast shadow in these territories. Love the spaceship silhouette. Brings everything together full circle. Very, very cool. The planets in EVERSPACE 1 are a treat. Yeah, we're really happy with how those came out. We're really happy. So it's good stuff. I see a quick thing that I want to comment on from the YouTube discussion. Guys, if any of you ever expect multiplayer to happen in EVERSPACE 2, or EVERSPACE 1 or 2 for that matter, I'm just gonna nip that in the bud right now. It's not gonna happen, okay? I wanna be super clear. Like, let's get that expectation completely eliminated. I just see some stuff that's kind of implying that it could happen. It's not, okay? EVERSPACE 1 and 2 have both been designed as a single player game in its entirety. There was never any concept, there was never any vision to have them become multiplayer games, okay? I just want to be very super clear, okay? Very super clear. All right. All right, next up, we've got Dark Chaos with a pretty chaotic shot where he's flying down on the Zerillia home planet here. Got his beam lasers beaming. And just the color palette that's being shown. Like, I love these lights that are like paired up with the beam laser. There's probably something that's wrong that's happening, but I love the way that it's conveyed. Almost looks like it's like charging up on the sides of the dashboard or something. And yeah, just the presentation of this environment I think is done really well in conjunction with the cockpit. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Another one from Bradley. Yet another one. And some of these that Bradley did is interesting because he wasn't 100% sure what his best shot was. So he had like 3 different shots. This happened on a couple other ones that we showed, where he had one where it's like, here's one with the ship right here. Here's another one with the ship over here. Here's one with the sun over in this position. And like, just kind of like subtly changing things around. He's like, I'm not sure which composition I like the most. And so It's crazy. But each one was actually really nice in its own right. Just Bradley, just keep it up, man. I just love the way that these are coming together. I just love the way that these are coming together. Oh my gosh, I see a question. What if we take EVERSPACE 2 to a LAN party to play together? Do they still do LAN parties in 2022? Oh my gosh, breaking news. EVERSPACE 2 is doing LAN support, even though it's single player. Oh gosh, that's... Why? Why would be the... I get what you're saying though. I think that's funny. Man. You know, don't they have those like internet cafes where you basically go to a LAN party? Don't they have those? I know there's a place nearby where I live that's basically that. You basically go in to pay to play video games on computer setup, and you can like bring your friends and play together, all in the same room. It's effectively like you're paying for a LAN party. So anyway, I digress. All right, next up, we've got this shot from Spoot Knight. Wait, is this Spoot Knight? Yes, this is Spoot Knight. Yeah, because it's the Spoot Mobile. Oh my goodness, how could I not recognize that? Just a nice clean look at his ship as he's flying through environments. He had several of these. I took this one away just because of the color palette. It was something a little bit different versus some of the other ones, like, you know, red. Anyway, I think it stands out. I think it's nice. I love your ship. I tell you that all the time because I really do. I think it's a great looking interceptor. I can't wait for more details to be added to them. So it's good stuff. HIVE has another one. I think this one stands out really well because of the coloration that's happening. That green coming up from the bottom almost looks like he's diving into like a poisonous pit or something. Really like that. I really like that. So really cool. Really, really cool. And otherwise, like that tone set of the green down below, you know, we could argue about like the other colors kind of like contrasting in interesting ways, you know, the oranges and the blues here, but then you have that bright red light with the green. So there's something still to this that's pretty pleasing. And I felt like it stood out a lot, so wanted to highlight it. Here's one of, I think, HIVE's better shots, I think. Just way to capitalize on his ship using this perspective. I love how he's using the, oh my gosh, the Prescott Starbase insignia as well. Some people don't even know that you can collect that. You gotta complete stuff, guys, if you want to get all the special doohickeys. But I also love just the drones kind of lazily falling behind, and the debris field, the juxtaposition of, you know, the asteroids and the storm itself versus just open space. I think there's a lot of elements done right here. Really cool stuff. Next one up, we have another one from Bradley who focused their silhouette entirely on the space station. Entirely on the space station. Nice, clean environmental shot. Super cool. I'm looking at the time. I gotta keep cruising through these. Oh my goodness. I got no time. I lost my folder. Where'd my folder go? Folder, come back to me. There you are. Fast-paced mode, medbed, underwater, yummy jellies. Yay, lots of photos with jelly medbed. I love them. I loved every single one of them forever. I love my jellies. They're super cute and delightful. We got another one from HIVE. This one's also, I think, one of HIVE's better shots too. And it comes down to the use of coloration. That the depth of color here is really nice too. You got very, very warm in the middle, and then you're branching out to cool with the ship enclosed in shadow, except with that nice highlighted red. Very nice features on that one. Bradley posted this one somewhat recently. We got him flying in front of Brady and Grunt. It's like a poster boy for like advertising Brady and Grunt. This could be you, blah, blah, blah. You know, don't mind the coalition symbols on there. Just replace it with GMB and we got a solid retelling. We got Flory walking into a warp gate in EVERSPACE 1, and he's bruised, he's battered, he's probably bewildered a little bit. Maybe not them specifically, but maybe Adam is, depending on what state in the game is happening here. But love the way that this is just bridging everything together. What a sight to see as you are trying to get through as far as you can. Oh man, I hope you can buff out those scratches. Very, very neat. We got the chemical bro who's flying beside, basically it's a loot ship. You go grab them, they give you something. Outside on the outskirts of Lethos Starport, the Coalition home base. Great looking shot. We got Geekbite who, this is so trippy, it looks like an eyeball. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like it, but I love it at the same time. I love it so much, but oh gosh, I don't like it, but I love it. And now you have to not like but love it, but don't like it too with me. It's such a clever shot. Very well captured. It's staring into my soul. Do not want. We got Bradley again with another shot. This one, I think he even took today. These last couple ones were today, like right before the stream started. The reason why I chose this one, honestly, is because of this little effect right there. Seeing through the glass, you can see everything. Like, it feels realistic because of that. It's like you're looking at a camera that took a legitimate shot at this ship that's actually flying. You have the proper depth of view because it's focused in on that dashboard. That's just cool. That's really cool. We got Crispy Muffin, not looking at explosions going on behind him. I can't tell if he's friend or foe here. It looks like that frigate is going down and it's not either that or there was an outlaw that was really close by. So I can't tell if he's being assistive, if he's being beneficial or if he's being a hindrance to this party. But I love it. I love the shot. I love the composition. Crispy Muffin, very well done. And then the final shot comes from Kazaa with flying really way too close to these lava puddles. Love the detail work on it though, so I had to highlight it. I'm also really digging your ship, the Zerulia painted colors on it. Looking pretty clean, looking pretty good. And that's everything. That's all of it. That's all the things that I have for you today. So much. Oh, there was gonna be a link that I was gonna share. Maybe I can share it afterwards. But for all intents and purposes, that concludes the stream, guys. So thank you everybody for coming out and asking questions. I felt like we did a really, really good job of bringing some thoughtful questions to the mix today. So I really do appreciate that. I am trying to do a thing, sorry. All right, there we go. But yeah, so you've been awesome. And I've been Eric Schrader, your community ambassador for Rockfish Games. I got suddenly really excited. Don't stop being awesome, and we'll catch you in the next stream next week. And I can assure you that we are gonna have some more fun stuff to show and talk about. So don't miss next week. All right, toodles. My button's not working. Hey, hang on a second. Hang on. Perfect, manual button pressing. I love it. Amazing exit. It's that after stream time where I tell you about EVERSPACE 2 and what you can do to support us. Because even if you are pinched for money, we understand. We play video games. We have expenses in our lives. We have to wear clothes and have to purchase them too. If you suffer from having to wear clothes, which we understand because you have to purchase it, and you can't purchase a video game, just know this. You can wish list us right now and we'll be informed whenever there is an update, as well as when there's a sale. If there's a sale and you purchase it, you will in fact save money. Also keep in mind that when we hit that 1.0 release in 2023 first quarter, it's gonna go up in price. So if you take the necessary steps, 1, wish listing us to be informed on when stuff is happening. 2, making a purchase when the stuff does in fact happen for a sale, for example, you will in fact, 3, have purchased it at the most affordable rate possible prior to the 1.0 release. And that support also helps us continue to develop and make things better. Who knows, if we reach the right figures, we'll keep working on EVERSPACE 2 for a little bit longer and have multiple DLCs. I don't know. It's possible. My point is money. There you go. Hope that you enjoyed that. Guys, my wife needs to go. I need to go. You probably need to go. Don't have an accident in your chair. And, well, yeah, that's all I got. So, yeah. No beatboxing today. My throat's in a rough spot, per usual. I feel like this is a normal thing that's happening now. Gosh, goodness gravy. But don't worry, we'll beatbox again in the future. It'll be fun. I hope. Man, why did I talk about clothes again? What the...